Hi, my name's Lindy and welcome to this channel. My website is www.lindycowling.co.uk. My email is info@lindycowling.co.uk. And the title of this video this evening, early evening UK time, that's the 29th of April 2019, is The Two Forms of Love. The Two Forms of Love. So I'm going to launch straight in here because I expect this to be a fairly short video. I say smiling because often when I get started it doesn't end up to be a short video at all. But what I mean by the two forms of love, I'm not talking about the forms of love where you can love somebody like a brother or a sister, or you can love somebody like a lover, or you can love somebody romantically, or you can love somebody platonically, etc., etc. I'm not talking about that form of love. I'm talking about the two forms of vibrational love, of frequency love, and to differentiate and explain that there are two forms. Now, it isn't that one form of love in a judgmental way is better than the other form of love. This video is for the purposes of explaining the different forms and why there are different forms, and how we are even aware that there are different forms of love as we go through an ascension process of raising our frequency from the brain, dictating our programmed reality, to our heart, co-creating our conscious reality. So the first form of love, that is the form of love that the majority of human beings experience. The majority of us are going to experience or have already experienced. And let's call it the emotional form of love, only because when I say emotional, that the belief systems, the programming, the background, the life experiences, etc., dictate how one emotionally experiences love through one's pain body or emotional body. So the emotional form of love, a simple way to describe it, it's a bit like the Romeo and Juliet story. Kind of very strong emotions, very powerful emotions. You could argue with me and say, but in Romeo and Juliet they were like true soulmates, and this isn't. This has nothing to do with the difference between soulmates or anything like that. It's the expression of how that love is expressed. So you could have soulmates that express love emotionally, form of love, or you could have soulmates that express love in the unified form of love that comes, let's say it comes through as an octave higher in its frequency, and they could still be soulmates, but they are expressing love, living love, realizing love around each other in that love, but not in its emotional form. Does that mean that love at a higher frequency, an octave higher, let's say conscious love, let's say love coming through the heart, is that to say that there aren't emotions with it? Of course there are emotions with it, but those emotions are coming through the octave and the frequency range of the heart portal. So the emotions are coming through the heart. They are not triggered through the pain body. They are coming through in an expressive, creative form through the heart. So the two forms of love, to simplify, most people on the planet have or are, or even have yet got that to come and do experience the emotional kind of love that is a reactionary thing, that is a hormonal chemical thing, an emotional thing, a pain body thing, largely governed subconsciously, unconsciously by the belief systems, by the fairy tale, by the triggering somewhere in the pain bodies, all wrapped in with that chemistry and emotions and hormones and genuine, of course, feelings. Again, just to repeat, that isn't a lower form of love. It is the actual, in inverted commas, normal way that the linear, us as linear human beings have experienced love. As part of the ascension transformational process, as thousands and then tipping into millions start to go through transformation of their own inner blueprints, they transfer over from the unconscious, programmed belief systems, linear, third and fourth dimensional forms of love, to the non-programmed, non-belief system, conscious, heart-governed, if you like, heart, metaphysical, heart portal facilitated, octave higher in frequency, love, you could say source love, you could say pure love, you could say divine love, you could say creationary love, you could say unified love, 0 point love. All of these things, conscious love, all of these things are the same thing. Experiencing love from that level is largely a non-triggered, triggering one another form of love. It's very much about creation. It's very much about not just to facilitate the expression of that love between them, but that going out into the outside world, you could say in a kind of service-orientated form, but let's be clear what I mean by that. People assume that service-orientated means you go out on the world stage and do something, or you go out and do something together in a combined project, which absolutely, of course, it could be that way. Or you go out and you make literal music for people to hear, or you go out and create literal art, and of course all those things, of course, can be part of it. But that so-called mission-orientated or service-orientated format, sometimes the expression of that is literally by you being what it says on the tin. In other words, by you expressing your 0 point conscious, source, divine, pure love in the way that is best for you, in the way that best illustrates the authentic you, because that puts out the pure elixir, the pure essence, the pure frequency, the pure love that the mass population, your blood family, soul family, friends, colleagues, town, village, country, state, and out into the collective conscious, into the world, can hear, feel, sense, see. And if they are ready to open up and awaken and flower into their own heart, they can imprint on that sound frequency blueprint that you have, that pure love, source love, creative love, frequency that you are emanating, And that helps them along their path. It's changing and rewriting the whole connection and relationship paradigm. So the act of service in that sense would be to be living as the authentic you that models this, because the frequency that you put out is the act of service. So I think that's all I need to say. Just to clarify, this is something that is part of everybody's process on a individual, unique expression of consciousness point of view, or a unique expression of consciousness is experience. And it's something that everybody comes to as part of that process, whether they start their process at the spiritual or spirit essence form of their divine love, then drop and then have to go through the pain body and regurgitate all of that programming and belief systems to come back to that purity, or whether they work their way up from the bottom up, so to speak, to reach those levels. Once one has experienced that elixir of pure, unprogrammed, authentic love, it's a worldwide phenomenon. One is constantly driven from within to work their way back to it. Where the majority of the people trip up with this is they try to work their way back to it by searching outside of them for the answer within another. Whereas how you work your way back to it is the realization, which creates a shift in one's frequency immediately anyway, that aha moment, that realization that what was experienced in that pure divine form with another was the exact reflection of what is inside of you anyway. In other words, the treasure chest in the heart, so to speak, was always in you. The pure love, divine love, unprogrammed love was all within you. And it's a question of being able to recognize that within yourself, but also express it then with another or others, or live your life from that particular frequency. No longer emotionally needing the other to prop you up or fix you, but as a complementary expression of one's pure divinity. And on that note, I'm going to love you and leave you. As always, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for those of you that do take the time to donate. It's really appreciated. And I'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye.